And we are live guys. Mnajua Niaje, si ndio? Wale wase tunakujanga hapa hivi kuwajenga na advice za life every other Tuesday manze. Jina langu ni Jamal the one, alongside the one and only registered nurse manze, and also a community health advocate. Winnie, gotoa tukiasi kabla tubonge story ya leo.
Welcome again to today's forum. We are having more discussions around COVID, and it's getting more interesting as the days go by. And we thank God so far so good. 2021 ejanza na shida mingi na tufungulia milango kadhaa, but we thank God for the far that we are going. Back to Ng'ang'a.
Kabisa sana Winnie, asante sana. So leo kama kawa, si mnajua Niaje. Leo tunataka tubonge story fulani hapa hivi manze ya stress. Tumerealize kwa comments zetu tumekuwa tukipitia, watu wengi wamekuwa pia wakituambia mnaweza bonga kuhusu stress. Nililose job yangu, mwingine anasema mimi niliwachwa na mzee wangu, mimi nilifukuzwa shule. Sasa hizi zote collectively zina bring up stress. Na sasa leo tulikuwa tunataka tubonge kuhusu stress. Tujue kwanza stress ni nini? Ni nini inaleta stress? Na ukapata stress ni aje unaweza handle, nini unaweza fanya ili ukue sawa? Na ndio maana tuko na the one and only Winnie hapa hivi atatusaidia manze ku narrow down to how to deal with stress. Tumerealize mavijana manze, kwanza personally niko na best yangu mmoja pia alikuwa alijojea man. Na saizi alikuwa akigo through a very hard time. Hajakuwa easy, but eventually ali overcome. So Winnie, nataka utusaidie kwanza tujue kabla tujenda mbali sana, stress ni nini kwa mse mwenye yako pale mtaani manze. Kuna mbogi michili pale na wajui stress ni nini. Yeye anakaanga hivi labda anaumwa na kichwa anasema mimi naumwa na kichwa ya stress, lakini hajui stress ni nini. From a medical perspective ni nini? Yani stress nyinyi mnasemanga stress ni nini?
First, stress kwa Kiswahili tunasema ni msinikizo wa mawazo ama msinikizo wa fikra. Somebody has too much to think about, so that's what we call stress. Or somebody ako kwa situation ambayo inamfanya anafikiria sana, or ako kwa situation ambayo inampea a status where he has to really think deeply about what is happening, and so in that case we call them stressed persons. I'm a stressed person. So unapata stress medically is basically an event or a situation that exposes somebody to extreme mental fatigue, or in a case where the person is tired mentally because of the stressful events, or because of the situation, or because of thoughts. It could be different things medically. Medically inaweza kuwa ni injury mtu amepata. It can be thoughts. It could be just general tiredness from other events, but stress is just that event or a situation that presents somebody to psychological fatigue or psychological anxiety in a way.
Asante sana Winnie. So, kuna mtu mwenye umemwelezea kimedikali, sijui kama kuna Kiswahili kama hiyo. Stress ni nini? But usisahau Winnie, kuna mtu mwenye ako pale bado maybe amekuwa akikaa hivi anafikiria sana, anakaa anaanza kujiongelesha. Hiyo bado is it a form of stress ama?
Well, situation kama hiyo ambao unaielezea, it's not a form of stress. Hizo ni symptoms ama ni dalili za kwamba mtu anapitia stress, because stress huwa inaanza polepole, haianzi like all of a sudden unaanza kufanya hizo vituko vyote, but it starts slowly and the symptoms grow with time, and different people will manifest with different symptoms. Kuna huyo mwenye ikifika moment anajiongelesha, huyo you need to really try and reach out to, because it means hiyo situation imeanza kuwa very bad and this person doesn't know where to express themselves to, so they start expressing those things into themselves. So when you see this a moment, those ones now we are talking about symptoms of stress ama a manifestation of someone who is stressed. But kujiongelesha sio types of a stress as such. It is just a category of a symptom that manifests when somebody is undergoing some stressful moments in their lives. Because types of stress ziko different. Stress inaweza kuwa stress because of a transition, ambayo tunaita transitional stress. So transitional stress inafanyikanga saa ile una step from one level of your life to another one. Kwa mfano, kuna hizi examples za wanafunzi ambao wameanza siku hizi kunasikia mwanafunzi amechapa watchman, unapata mwanafunzi ameua mzazi, ama mwanafunzi amefanya hivi na hivi. those are transitional kind of stress. Kumbuka watoto walikuwa wamezoea freestyle, wako tu kwa nyumba all the way from March, there's nothing they're doing in the house, they're watching TV, eating, sleeping, having fun. Now they have to go to school where there are so many rules. So this child has to adjust to that environment, and such moments are known to bringing a lot of transition in life. So this person could be undergoing some transitional stress that are actually manifesting it by using those aggressive behaviors. Then kuna mwingine akona stress because of transition, kwa mfano na transit from single to married. You know, single to married is not just an overnight transition also. That's why they are taken through the marital counseling as a way to help them transition. But kuna mwingine mwenye aliingia maybe with the wrong foot, they will end up with those transitional stresses. Then kuna events zingine ambazo zinaweza leta stress ambazo tunaweza sema ni medical issues. Kwa mfano labda mtu akona diseases ambazo haponi, mtu akona high blood pressure, akona diabetes, this person again maybe gets an injury. Like you find that a case now, it becomes more of medical stress, because this is coming in because of medical conditions. Then the other category of stress, we call it situation stress. Situation is whereby a certain event happens, and this one takes you deep into that stress category. Kwa mfano unaweza pata na hii COVID, watu wamepoteza kazi, wengine pia wamepoteza family, or people because of too much separation from each other because of the lockdowns, watu wakapata pia situation stresses. So unapata hii stress iko na different category, but symptoms no nyingi ambazo mtu anaona, but wao hawajaelewa huyu mtu anapata stress sababu gani. That's the reason that guys just see the symptoms, but they don't know exactly which this person could be suffering on.
Okay, asante sana Winnie. So umetuelezea the categories of stress na the causes, si ndio? Na sasa tumeweza kuelewa. So kuna mtu pale anaweza ataka kuuliza swali, labda nitajua aje niko na stress? Cause usisahau umetuambia mtu akitembea akijiongelesha hiyo si stress. Kuna mwenye anakaa hivi anaona maybe nafikiria sana, kuna kitu inamsumbua sana, inamsumbua. So umesema hiyo si stress. So nitajua aje niko na stress mimi mwenyewe?
So the first thing to know somebody has stress, ndio nimesema kuna stress na kuna hizo symptoms za stress. Kwa mfano unaweza kuwa unajiongelesha and maybe you're suffering from a mental illness, because mental illness is wide. Kuna mental illness zenye labda mtu zina manifest na ama zinatoa symptoms za kujiongelesha. Hao tunasema ni watu wanaona hallucinations. Kumbe unajiongelesha cause unaona vitu zako. Maybe you're seeing your ancestors in front of you and you're talking to them. That does not mean already this person is stressed. But you may find that the talking to one and to yourself can also be a symptom of stress, but hiyo inakuanga mostly imefika kama severe kabisa, whereby this person now starts hallucinating. Because hallucinating wanasemanga unaona vitu zako, or you are interpreting the environment in an unrealistic moment, or you are interpreting your environment opposite to the reality. So unapata huyo mtu ameanza kuona vitu mwenyewe tu zenye hazi exist. And so that's the moment now they start showing those hallucinations, talking to themselves. They start looking as if they're answering, they start seeing a pole and they're talking to that pole, or they start looking at the wall and they start counting. You know, those are symptoms. But the reality of the symptom is what can confirm either this is another mental health issue or this person exactly has stress. Now, this stress inaweza kupea symptoms ambazo zinakaa physical. Kwa mfano, physical symptom ni issue like somebody doesn't have appetite. They don't want to eat, appetite iko low, ukimwekea hata chakula hapo hakuli ile kiwango alikuwa anakula kwa kawaida. Another moment that can indicate stress, there are those guys who also eat a lot. So stress could bring the symptom of either eating kidogo or eating a lot, because others actually, they try to live their stress out in that way. They can eat a lot or eat little. At the same time, also stress can make you either do much of what you do usually or do little. Kuna ule mwenye akiwa stress, kama alikuwa anapenda exercise, they can exercise the whole day, which is excessive. And then kule mwenye stress ikimchapa, this person will not exercise at all. Like even the energy to do that is gone. So somebody really needs to know themselves and understand, how do I express my stressful triggers in this case? Because vitu mingi za stress haziendi eti na one route, zinachukua different route kulingana na mtu mwenyewe. Then kuna mwenye stress ikimchapa hata nyumba hajali kutengeneza, unapata kama ni sofa set zimewachwa hajapanga, they don't wash the dishes, they don't do anything. Then kuna huyu mwenye stress ikimchapa, it's like they are on a, yani ni kama mwili wake una work kabisa. They want to clean everything, they want to panga everything. It's like they don't want to be kept in a dormant state. They just want to do things to examine, to release the energy that is trying to like burn them out of their body. So like these stress symptoms really actually varies with the different people, although kuna zile zenye they are quite observable. Like kama beshte yako unamjua anakuanga na tabia fulani and then you start seeing it's deviating a bit, then in that case you can ask, because you can tell this is something that I've not seen her or him do before, in the time that you've engaged with them. Then you can check on people who could be stressed up until now, maybe they black out. Kuna mwenye ana black out kabisa kwa nyumba. You try check them and they are sleeping and you wake them up and they don't wake up at all. It's like they're in a state of trance. They're not waking up, and even if you wake them up, they can't hear you. So even extremes, when somebody now goes to this to the moment where they are becoming like hysterical peer. So stress can show different symptoms, but most of them is zile za negative. Akuli, akunywi, halali, they are having headaches, all those. But sana sana stress onyeshana vile pia interaction venye iko. Kuna tunakuanga withdrawn. They just go back into a state where they don't want to talk to people. But then stress is just depends on how much you've observed this person and how they are changing for you to confirm what this person could be going through.
Asante sana Winnie. Na tukikanyagia hapo kwanza kidogo na cheki unasema mafans wetu wameshaanza kujoin hapa ili kidogo. Na cheki kuna Beverly Kerubu anasema mimi nikipata stress I normally play SDS songs and everything is okay. Kuna mwingine anajiita Yegs Oscar anasema triple A's inaweza kabisa. Kuna mwingine anajiita James Kamau anasema exercise. That's what I do. Anasema yeye working out regularly is one of the best ways to relax your body and mind. Relax your muscles when you're stressed. Your muscles will loosen up na utafeel fit. Asante sana. Na cheki tuko na Dennis Brown pia anasema mimi hutoa stress na pombe mazee. Tutakuja kwako wewe baadaye. Kevin out na Maarif gumzo mtaani kibamba sana stress na sahau. Asante sana. Tunacheki pia niko na Victor Muguso anasema show imeweza sana. Niko locked kutoka Kisii. Asante sana Victor. Asante sana manze, endelea kutuning. So Winnie, yes, on to my next question. Tumecheki wasee wamekama hapa hivi wamebonga, msee anasema unajua ni aje mimi nikipata stress anisha. Huyu msee mwenye akwanda parental care, akona guardian pale, hakuna rent analipa. Ye kazi yake ni kuamka, kunywa breakfast, okay, na kwenda kusoma definitely, na kucheza na mabeshte wake baadaye ama kuhang out na Maarif. Hawa ni watu pia wanapata stress, na stress yao yenyewe maybe inaweza kuwa ikiaffect ni aina gani. Ni the same na mtu mwenye amepoteza kazi, the same na mtu maybe akona shida zake zingine za kinyumbani ama yes.
Well, I can say stress is good for the body. Actually, do not accept to be in a state where you don't have stress. Stress is a source of motivation for any human being. The fact that uko na stress ndio inakuamsha kwa kitanda, you do something. So wengine wanasemanga stress is the beginning of motivation. So kama kwa mfano unaamka alafu unajiambia nimechelewa kuamka leo, the fact that unafeel umechelewa kuamka is the reason that will make you wake up. And then when you wake up now, you start looking around on what things you've not done. You've not brushed your teeth, you start brushing, you've not eaten, you eat. That's actions that you're pulling each and every moment you remember things is actually the stresses that you experience in a day. So hizi stress tuko nazo sisi wengine zenye hazikae kama ugonjwa, tunasemanga ni zile mild stress, mild than whose purpose is to enable us to just push on with life. So easy mild stress is what tunazihitaji sana because they're the ones that pull our lives into order each and every day. But you cannot say you are in a life whereby you don't have stress at all. Stress also comes with goal setting. So if you set goals, like for that person who has everything in the house, they have food, they have whatever they want, but there's those goals that possibly this person has set and they're the ones that drive their normal motivation. So hizo goals zinakuanga kama stress setters. So if your goal is so big, it will also give you a huge stress to achieve it. But if you have the basics, breathing, eating, sleeping, waking up, those are called basic needs. But now when you have these basic needs, there's also a second category of things that you want, what you call the belonging. You want to belong. So possibly akona kila kitu, lakini anaweza kuwa na stresses zingine ambazo zinatokea na the aspect of belonging. Maybe hana friends, hana family member wako kwa nyumba, maybe ana feel all the time tunamwacha peke yake, wengine tukienda kazini. Those are also sources of stress. But this is also heavy that can complicate into medical or to stress levels that needs to be taken into a medical attention. But they need that particular mild stress to actually help them run along with their life activities and to run along with their life motivations. So kuna ile stress ambayo purpose yake ni motivation. And then kuna ile stress ambayo it is just out of proportion. And this is the one that now draws medical attention. And the medical attention one, it is the one that comes from heavy moments in life. Like tukasema kwa mfano huyo mwenye ana transit, maybe umetoka graduation, unatafuta job, that transition is so heavy on that person. Some of them go into stress until now it's end up as a depressive case. Then you find the ones that are now having the situational, whereby maybe you have graduated, you want a job, your parents now, maybe one of them dies in that moment. That situation worsens that issue. And in that case, this person can go into situational stress. Then you can have the other medical causes of stress and all that. But then when you're looking at stress, the absence of a situation, a transition, or a medical condition does not mean people are not having other levels of stress. We can have the mild ones that somebody needs for the purpose of running their life along. Because if you're stress-free, it means you don't need to achieve anything anymore in life. It means you have acclimatized or you're at a level where you are self-actualized. You don't need anything else in life. So what do you want to live for? And that's when you find out these guys start looking for things like hobbies to supplement themselves. They want to look for more friends to just catch up and all those things. But literally each and every person has a stressor at any particular moment. The only difference is that it depends on the levels that we are at in. So all of us are victims of stress. The variation is just we have different level of stress. Kuna ule mwenye akona mild na kuna ule mwenye akona very severe stress moment.
Asante sana Winnie. Na sasa a quick one. So mimi nimepata hiyo stress yangu, for example, imeni affect in a different way. Nimeanza kujiongelesha. That is one of the symptoms umesema. Kuna mwingine amepata yake umesema ni ako motivate kuamka kwenda kufanya kazi. Na kuna mwingine yake sasa ameshindwa kuicontain kabisa. So kwa huyu mwenye ameshindwa kuicontain yake hata motivate yake imemsumbua kabisa juu atafanya nini ama nini. Is there any form of medication to such things? Because apparently kuna mbogi fulani nilisikia wakidaisha ati au wakipata stress, some guys wanatumianga mihadarati alafu ina cool down mwili na kusaidia kusahau mashida zako. So actually hiyo ndio inaweza mfanya asahau stress zenye ako nazo na motivate kufanya kazi kabisa. So kuna any form of medication yenye unajua medical approved ama hizi tu ni panganga za watu?
Well, kwa madawa, most of these stressful, stress complications, let me call them like that, we don't advise mtu achukue dawa kwanza. We advise the person to get aware of the stressor first. Kwa mfano, kama stress yangu, maybe at the moment niko na stress, kwa mfano labda nimechelewa kulipwa my salary. You see, it is advisable for me to know that the stressor here is the salary issue. And the problem here is that I don't have money. That's an example. So it will be abnormal for me to go take drugs for releasing stress, yet I've not eliminated the problem. So the strategies in managing stress moments, they're not treated first with medication. Medication like you've done each and every step that is needful and it did not work. And so in this case, now you'll be advised maybe to start taking medications. So here is a step-by-step how you manage the stress. So somebody comes, they're showing those signs and symptoms of stress. The first thing is you take them through the first step is identify the problem. What is the problem? What is the stressor? Then once you've established this stressor, you work out a plan on how you can eliminate these stressors. So if somebody maybe is living with relatives who are not friendly to that person, a good example, if this person is living with relatives who are not friendly and this person feels stressed every time he's in that environment, then the advice is, how do we make this environment friendly? Can we pull the relatives and talk to them? Can we try to create the environment acceptable for this person so that we can give them an easy feel as they are in that particular environment again? But now, if you have tried all the means of talking out to the members, of trying to help the person understand that these family members are not enemies as maybe the person is perceiving, but they're just family members who they can coexist, and this person still having stressors, then in this case now you can opt into managing actually this stressing or this stress that the patient is undergoing. Now, stress can lead into two things. It can either bring out a depressive case of for this person, can go into depression now, or the person can suffer anxiety disorder. So if a person has been stressed for so long and there's no management, this patient can go into anxiety status. If the patient is not well managed, this person can also go into depression. So somebody has to weigh in which category this person is into. Is the person on anxiety state, or is your person, is this person taking a route of depression? So if a person is having depression, for instance, then umse atapelekwa management ya depression. Kuna dawa sasa za kumanage depression, antidepressants, counseling, all those things. Or if yako kwa anxiety level, then you start managing anxiety. Kuna dawa zinaitwangwa anxiolytic, like they help easen up that anxious status. So easy medication, this person will be put under the care of a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a counselor. These are the people who help in working along with this anxiety patient or the depressive patient. So when as they're working on it, the dose also is not just something you go to a chemist and say, give me this drug. You need to work it with your healthcare provider that you're meeting on a regular basis to weigh the doses and to know when to reduce these doses also. Because you may be taking a lot of these anxiety drugs and then they start having side effects on you. And some of these side effects are not really friendly to have them when you're alone. Because some of them can bring tremors. What will you do when you've taken the anxiety drug and you start having tremors in the house? Or you start having some, kuna zingine ukikula unasikia kisunzi, you feel like you just want to sleep. So what if you take and then you black out in your house? So like you need to be given while you're under the monitoring of that healthcare provider that you're meeting. And so it depends this stress ya huyu mtu ikoje. Is it a starting moment so that you can identify the stressor and eliminate? Ama complicate, it can take either the anxiety route or the patient is going to depressive route. Yeah.
Asante sana Winnie. Before tuendelee, maybe wacha ni big up moja wawili na cheki. Tuko na Governor Langat Senior KE anasema tuned in. Tuko na Salim Kim anasema I normally listen to pure worship songs. Hizo ndio zinisaidia kudeal na stress. Kuna mwingine anajiita hapa, anajiita nani? Anajiita Kabue anasema tuned in sana kutoka Kitale. Asante sana Kabue. Kuna mwingine anajiita Frank anasema mimi swali yangu inakuja. Endelea kutune in, tunangoja hiyo swali yako kuuliza kabla show iishe. So Winnie, my next question. Stress umetuambia effects zake, but kuna zingine nimekuwa nikisikia hapa hivi nje mazee. So actually people react differently to stress. Kuna wenye sasa wenda into depression. Vile umetuambia kuna mwenye anaweza anza hata kujifungia, aanze kujisegregate from the usual mabeshte wake, anajiweka tenga tu kando. So kuna wengine nilisikia msee akiwa na stress, yeye anasema mimi nikipata stress mimi kula sana. So mimi gain weight as a result of stress, like nikipata stress mimi kula sana. Kuna mwingine at the same time anasema mimi nikapata stress sipatangi hata hiyo appetite, so yeye will lose weight. So how is this related to stress? Na is it true that unaweza kula sana as a result of stress ama ukose hata kukula because of it also?
Yes, what you just said is actually true. What people don't know, people think stress inaletanga only elimination. You have watu wako na hii assumption kwamba mtu akiwa na stress ana eliminate vitu, like hataki kuona watu, hataki kukula, hataki kufanya hii, hataki kufanya hii, but not everything it's about hataki. Kuna watu wenye wakiwa na stress they want to do like everything. Kuna ule mwenye akiwa na stress hata pombe hakunywi. Na kuna ule mwenye akiwa na stress atakunywa hizo crates. They can literally drink anything. So there are those guys, when stress hits them, they just want to engage their body in anything that they see. And there are those that when they are stressed, they just don't want to be on any activity. So kuna level lenye uko stress and then you get into withdrawal. Withdrawal ule mwenye anatoa whatever they used to do, they are not doing it anymore. Then kuna ule mwenye akiwa stress anaenda into overindulgence. Now the danger of these people who are on overindulgence, huwa hawaelewi how come I'm stressed and I'm doing this. Kama huyo wa kukula, like when you're stressed, the assumption is you won't eat, but this person is stressed and they're eating. What they don't know is when you're stressed, you can either be the one who is overindulging, or you can be the one who is withdrawing. So how overindulging, ndo wale wenye ako stress anakula, ako stress anaimba all the time, ako tuna tu earphones hapo anaimba, ako stress unapata mwingine ndo anachora ma lyrics, mwenye kuna mwingine akiwa na stress they can even write books and publish in months, because for them stress means I need to overindulge in something. I need to do something more so that I can release this feeling. So they do so much. There are guys who can read and pass under stress. But there are guys, they will fail terribly when they are stressed. So it depends on which type of a stressed person are you. Are you the overindulging one, or are you the withdrawal stressed person? So withdrawal ndo tunaelewanga ni wengi sana watu wa withdraw. But hawa overindulgers wanakuanga si wengi, but pia hata happen, they don't know they are stressed because they think it comes with positive results. Kwa mfano, kuna ule mwenye akiwa stress atenda kutafuta mabeshte, like atatafuta mabeshte achape story. You see this person at the end of the day, he meets new people, he networks, he connects, he gets new opportunities, chances, and so on. This one may not even realize they are stressed, but in reality, they are actually overindulging in that networking thing. They need to actually calm down and do it at a normal rate. So kuna watu wawili, unaweza kuwa we ni overindulging one, ama you can be the withdrawing person. So you just need to identify which type of a person are you when you're stressed.
So Winnie, I know kuna vitu hatuwezi control, but in your opinion, wewe unadhani msee anaweza fanya nini ku avoid stress?
When you stress, to avoid it, first understand yourself. There's something called self-awareness. Very important when it comes to avoiding stress. There are guys who literally know when I'm stressed, I can demolish things. Kuna mtu anajua, maybe if I'm triggered, I can really do bad things that I may regret later. And so in this case, when you're self-aware of such moments or such reactions from yourself, then you can easily control any stressful events in your life. So it's about understanding yourself and predicting what's the next step for you to take. So if you know you are the overindulging person, and you know if I am stressed, I may start eating, then please, when you know a stressor is coming, just avoid any food stations, because you may start buying every food you see and may not even eat. You may actually waste money. So self-awareness is key. And then there's something also called life skills. You know, the basic life skills are actually the most important part when it comes to managing personal stress. So unapata life skills are basic things like negotiation skills. Learn how to engage with people, because those are mostly our sources of stress in life. Learn on how to engage with people, learn how to negotiate friendships, learn how to reconcile with people, learn how to easen up any any commotions you get around with guys. Because you see, when you learn to handle life skills, or when you learn to handle life situations, it becomes easy for you to maneuver around a situation that may bring stress in your life. And so in this case, the self-awareness and also the issue of life skills becomes very handy when you realize there's a stressor that is actually creeping into your life or into your space. And then the last thing is always create a circle of friends that you can rely on. You may not have a counselor, you may not have the money to pay a psychologist, but if you have a good confidant that any moment you feel stressed, ni kama inakuchapa, you can talk to or try to express yourself and easen up the situation, it will reduce the chances that you may develop into a stressed person. And those are the few things somebody can do actually to easen up any stressful moment. Be in good books with people. It becomes very easy for you to be helped when you may be getting stressed. And also it becomes easy for people to notice when you may be looking a bit stressed, because they'll be like, hey, sijakuona WhatsApp hii wiki, ulienda wapi? Or ulinipigia jana, but I didn't kind of connect with your voice, how you were talking, you sounded this and this. Those are life skills that people those are life skills that benefit people when you know how to connect with guys, when you know how to engage with people and maintain your networks on a peaceful ground. It becomes very easy for you to survive stressors.
Sasa Winnie, hapo tumeelewana. Alafu sasa kuna mtu aliuliza ati kama peer to peer engagement inaweza saidia kumaliza stress. Inaweza saidia?
Yes, it can, because kumbuka stress mingi inapungua when you tell and you identify what it is. Sometimes you may be stressed as a person and you may not be aware. Like I may come to the show here and I'm talking and I look like, this woman is stressed today, but I may not know. But because of the talking and engaging and exchanging ideas, somebody may actually tell you, hey, you look stressed. You need to really ease up. But now, if you don't have any peer engagement, how will you now be able to be helped if maybe you have that stress and you need somebody to talk to? So the peer-to-peer engagement is quite important for one to be into, because it helps you identify yourself. Sometimes you may not know yourself and somebody may actually see that from their angle. And as you're engaging with them, they help you understand yourself better. Maybe I'm too aggressive with situations. And if I'm too aggressive with situations, when they don't work, I start to get stressed because I feel like, why are people so slow in this town? Or why are people not doing things so fast in this office? Because I don't get it that I am the one who is on the aggressive side. I just want things to happen at a speed that not everybody can pick. And so if I have a peer who can see that and tell me, I think you're pushing things too fast. You need to really relax and let things flow at its own pace. Then I'll be able to ease them up from that situation. But if I don't have any people to engage on that platform, then how will I know myself? So peers are good because they help us discover ourselves better and to make ourselves friendly and open to new ideas and thoughts around ourselves.
So what about the introvert type of guys? Wale wase wenye wanajua mimi ni mimi na life yangu, hawajazoea kumingle na wasee, na hata wakiwa kwa watu it really takes time ndio waanze hata kusocialize na wasee. How would you advise such group?
The introverts, what I can talk about introvert people, everybody has a percentage of an extrovert in them. The introvert doesn't mean they are totally introverts. They're not 100% introvert. There's that percentage of extrovert that is in them. They may not be introverted to everybody. That's the truth. There are guys who will be introvert to everyone, but there'll be one person they'll be extroverted to. That is the remaining percentage that represents their extroversion. So now for the introverts, it's good for them to know who is that one friend that they can talk to. You know, for extroverts, the advantage of Konayo is that they have a pool of so many friends, some of them that they rarely even talk to 1 year down the line, but they will still remember that person. Or they have such a long list of friends. But for the introvert, they don't have so many friends, but it doesn't mean they don't have a friend at all. There's that one friend that I know introverts can be extrovert to, or they can be too open to talk to. Now, this is the confidence I will advise the introvert to keep close and keep in communication, and in case they start feeling those stressful moments. Because stress, tumesema, they are best handled when expressed, or they're best handled when talked out. But if somebody doesn't talk out, utapata anavumilia na vitu hapo, but now you start to realize later when they start presenting those symptoms. So unfortunately for the introverts, sana tunawapatanga level selo ame give up. Like unapata hata mwenye ndo best yake mmoja mwenye baki naye anamuelezea hashikanishi. So I will tell introverts, please keep that one friend that you trust, that you feel you can talk to. And then the other thing, avoid talking in symbols. Talking in symbol are those guys unamuuliza uko poa, anakujibu in one word, or they're not saying, they're just like poa, uko poa, niko sawa, how are you? Fine, umekula, yani they're not giving themselves full expressions. And so you find those kind of like a sign that somebody could be having stress, but because they don't want to tell you stressed on the face, they start giving you assumptive answers, telling you like, kwani ukuona venye alikuwa anakujibu na neno moja moja. You see, I may not be able to see those indicators that you're trying to show me, but if you just say it, then I'll be able to help. So So introverts take advantage of the one friend that you have, that you feel you can really express yourself, that you feel you can talk openly to. You don't have to talk to everybody.
Asante sana Winnie, hapo najua umejenga watu kadhaa hapo hivi manzi. So umesikia rada, ndio hiyo manzi, rada safi, si ndio? Ma introvert mjue mtacheza. Tafuta mse mmoja mwenye unajua ukiwa na shida, atakuwa confident wako, unaweza mchapia anything that is ailing you, si ndio? Manzi, usiumie na stress. Sawa. So Winnie, kuna huyu mtu mwenye sasa anauliza anaweza pata wapi help in case imekuwa ngumu kabisa. Are there any places we could visit when unaweza pata maybe some sort of guidance ama any form of help regarding stress?
Well, most hospitals are now establishing the counseling department, or the kind of like a mental section for everybody. I don't use the word mental because it's a bit stigmatized, but it's a department that its main role is to deal with issues that are actually linking up into mental issues, that includes stress and also the issue of depression. So hizi offices, unfortunately, they are least used because watu hawajazijua bado. They keep thinking hizo office ni za mtu amechizi, but in reality those are offices to deal with any stressors or any mental issues that somebody could be undergoing. Now, for the contact, most of the time they do not. I'm not sure of a hotline that I can avail, but if I get, I will pass it over for you to avail it. You find that they have numbers. Like you may find your sub-county hospital, they have a number for that department that you can call. They have a psychologist put in place there that you can specifically call to engage in case you feel stressed up. There are also non-governmental organizations that are also working on setting up mental health hotlines that you can just call online and talk to. There are also apps that are dealing with mental health that you just message and they answer you ASAP, which is good. So sometimes I tell people mental health si kitu ya kungoja, and the good thing is ni kitu wewe mwenyewe ndo unafeel. Mtu si lazima aione from a fan ndo akwambie una feel hivyo, but wewe mwenyewe ndo unaifeel, na sometimes unajua tu kabisa uko na hiyo stress. So what I can do is, most of these lines, they're available on Google. If you just write anything on mental health in Kenya, you will find, you won't miss a number, 1 or 2 there to call into. And these are people who are actually on the ground, ready to talk to you. These are people who, when you call, they will receive, because people are realizing, hey, mental health, it's something that is on the rise. And because not everybody wants to talk about it, then let's create these hotlines to help guys actually talk about or talk it out, so that people can be free or people can feel elevated, out of it. And so when it comes to intervention, you can go to your nearest health facility and inquire which office deals with such situation. You will have a sit down with the psychologist there, engage them on a deep conversations. You can openly talk it out. If you feel the public facility may not favor you, there are also private psychologists who do private sessions. You can book one for therapy. And these therapies vary in amounts. Kunoleta kucharge different prices, but you can always check on your pockets which one favors you most. Sometimes I find the therapy one quite friendly because there's a lot of confidentiality there. Just you and your psychologist, and setting up the time and the schedules to meet to engage on this particular stress. So you can choose which method works for you. You want to call over the phone through the phone numbers and engage people on the hotline? You want to visit the health facilities to talk to the psychologist at the center, or you can opt to check yourself or book yourself into a therapy or a therapist that you can just talk to and get scheduled for the different therapy sessions on psychology.
Yeah, na manze, nyinyi wote mmetuwatch, najua tumesaidia moja wawili hapo hivyo. Kuna kitu umeget pale, labda tu ulikuwa unapitia stress, but you know what, today because tomorrow loves you. Sikubali stress take down manze. Unajua ukiwa na stress mtu anaweza anza kupata ma crazy ideas, but usikubali, kesho iko juu yako. So usikubali, si ndio? Ukipata stress, jaribu moja mbili. Tumesikia hapa hivi advice from a health qualified practitioner, that is anaitwa Winnie Barawa. Usikubali manze, bonga na best yako, kuwa na mbogi yako ya karibu pia, acha kutembeanga peke yako manze. Unacheki, Make sure uko busy pia. I believe pia kujikeep busy na way inasaidia kumaliza stress. Kwa peke yako unaweza anza kufikiria sana zingine si poa. So nacheki hapa hivi tuko na David Chris anasema mimi hujimake busy sana nikiwa na stress. Asante sana David. Tuko na Diana anasema mimi mwanze kucheka, laughter is therapy. Pia kucheka by the way husaidia sana kumaliza stress. Alafu tuko na Lizzie anasema mimi listening to music helps a lot. Asante sana Lizzie. Tuko na Doreen Tobaya Tobia. Najipea time ya kuwa lonely, then pia naweza eka muziki inipige kelele ndio iniondolee stress. Okay. Tuko na Sismo Guy anasema me reading the Bible and praying. Asante sana. Tuko na mwingine hapa anajiita Felix Kemei anasema nikiwa na stress I just reach out to my friends on a call and talk about my good past sweet memories. Asante sana. Tuko na mwingine hapa anajiita Brian Africa Tagoli anasema mimi kuna time nilikuwa na stress na nilikuwa nafikiria vitu zingine mbaya sana, but fortunate enough nilipata mseto kuongea naye na sasa iko sawa. Thank you, that's what we want to hear. Alafu tuko na Amos Munio anasema mimi najipatanga tu niko na mabeste tunaenda kucheza futa, hiyo ndio favorite sport yangu. Asante sana. Tuko na Pop Colony Camel anasema I share with a friend anytime na feel niko na stress, inasaidia kupata meditation. Asante sana. Tuko na mwingine hapa anajiita MC Maisha. Stress ni stress, tusisumbuane, but mimi nikipata stress mimi huenda kucheza games. Asante sana. Tuko na mwingine hapa anajiita Levi anasema mimi nimebambika sana na show na nimelearn a lot. Tuko na mwingine hapa pia anajiita Doreen anasema mimi anytime I have stress music is what helps me. Asante sana Doreen. Na wengine wote wenye manze tujaweza kusoma comments zenyu, tuko hapa juu yenyu nyinyi mafans manze, endeleeni ku drop in hizo comments zenyu, tuendelea kushare manze, to check out maybe our possible next week's topic. So wewe ndo utadetermine you need to discuss next week. In short, drop your comments, like our page, na vile tumelearn leo manze, make sure stress haija ku take down. Sawa, tomorrow needs you. Same place same time to meet tena next week manze 8:30. My name is Jamal the One, tukiwa na Winnie Barawa, registered nurse and also a community health advocate. Simlale fiti. Cheers.